the president, in his State of the Nation address, mentioned gains made in the agri sector. Take a listen.
It is a transformational step that we have taken, which should quicken the pace of development all round and give us confidence in our future. In 2017, it appeared to some like the same old refrain when we said farmers and agriculture would get the highest priority. But we can see the difference it makes when a government treats farmers with respect and spends resources and expertise on agriculture. We have seen the dramatic turnaround of our agricultural fortunes due to the progressive policies that have improved the living standards of farmers in the country. The excellently executed policy for planting for food and jobs has laid the foundation for the agricultural transformation of our country. We are able to say that our country is now a net exporter of food, and we no longer have to import basic foods like plantain and tomatoes. Mr. Speaker, Ghana rice is the preferred choice in an increasing number of our homes as the growing, processing, and packaging of rice become a more established and attractive industry. During this COVID crisis, we have mercifully been spared the specter of food shortages. On the contrary, thanks to planting for food and jobs, food has been in abundance in our markets across the country.
You're wondering who you saw on our feed there when I was talking to Yaolati. That's Anthony Morrison, Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana. He joins me for a conversation. Anthony, great to have you on the program tonight. So the agri sector was the only sector that recorded growth in the third quarter of last year, despite the impact of COVID-19 on the economy. And as we heard the president say, going by a remarkable 8.3%. And so we should say that the government has done pretty well with the agri sector, and what the president said is a true reflection of what is on the ground, is it?
Well, thank you very much, and a very good evening to your viewers. The Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana can't disagree with the president that much, in that we have seen some progress in the industry. We have seen some support coming in from government, but what probably we were expecting as a private sector and as an industry, we have not fully been able to reach those sort of support systems that we were expecting, especially, for instance, some of the structure you would have expected that after the government have invested so much into the planting for food and jobs, we would have actually taken care of the local consumption first, protect indigenous consumption before allowing export. So as we speak now, if you cast your mind back, during the COVID, I mean, immediately the COVID pandemic lockdown was announced, we saw a rise in food prices, onion, tomatoes. I think, Joy, you carried out a market survey. You saw some trucks of tomatoes coming from Burkina Faso, and the prices jumped by almost 50 or more %. We saw prices in Gary going up, but that notwithstanding, the system stabilized, prices stabilized. We saw during the 2019 where there were glut in rice, where even farmers were begging for markets. However, same cannot be said of 2020 ending. We have seen some quite very astronomical rise in prices of soya that used to be sold at 150, now being sold at 220 for the same 50 kg bag. We've seen similar being done in terms of maize that used to sell at 68 Ghana cedis for 50 kg, now being sold at 110 to 120 for the same kg. And this has also affected the price of poultry and eggs. We've seen egg prices per crate that used to sell if it's if it's medium or it's large, it has increased. Some being sold by almost 8 to 6 cities, 6 cities to 8 cities increments.
Right.
So there are genuine challenges, and the fact that we have also
it's
seen
interesting. Sorry to cut you, Anthony. It's interesting to hear government say that we are a net exporter of food through the policy of planting for food and jobs. But like you mentioned, we are having challenges locally. For instance, I'm hearing there's no market for tomatoes. I'm hearing that we are even importing maize. Anthony, the point I just wanted to make was that, so how do we reconcile both situations where we are having to export food, but locally we are facing some challenges as well?
Well, it's all about state protectionism policies. For instance, as we speak, Argentina, who is the third largest producer of corn in the world, that is 34.8 million metric tons, have banned exports. Now, if such a country is taking such measures, then Ghana also needs to protect its food security systems. We need to look at how we can introduce some food security measures that could better the measures that have been taken earlier that can support it. We minimize the arbitrary export of food security crops out of the country.
Right.
And also we intensify efforts to migrate the impact of climate change on food production. That notwithstanding, the COVID have come to stay, and the government must deep to see how they can bring in some agriculture COVID interventions into the productivity. Then also, if care is not taken, and I have to raise this alarm, and I'm doing it again, that the Africa Free Trade Continental Area has started.
Right.
Trade has started. And we need to do as much as possible. And if government fails this year to invest at least 30% of its budget into the agriculture sector, its value chain, we should be kissing ourselves goodbye, because we can't compete with the rest of Africa. With produce that are coming from South Africa, Morocco, Rwanda, talking about Rwanda coffee, vegetables from Kenya, fruits coming from Morocco and Egypt bringing in livestock. We should be careful what we are working on, because our industry could collapse if we don't take the necessary step to invest in skills, to give facilities to farmers and commercial farmers, to protect our indigenous companies who are into the agriculture sector. We may be kissing the industry a goodbye.
I'm actually happy you brought up the subject of the Continental Free Trade Agreement. In fact, that was going to be my last question to you, to find out whether agribusinesses feel they are ready to benefit from this trade deal. But listening to you, it looks as if there's a lot of work that has to be done. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight, Anthony Morrison. He's the Chief Executive of the Agribusiness Chamber. Thanks very much.